Not giving a damn. It's an aspirational state of mind that we all try and get to, where we realise that wearing branded underpants or having stripes on our lawn isn't really the be all and end all of life. And we can just walk away from situations and people that don't really offer us any benefit. But how do we get there? If you follow five fairly simple principles, hopefully your ability to not give a damn about things can be a little bit easier. The first point is to have a concern budget. All of us are concerned about key and critical things like our friends and family and whether we've got a hole in the roof or we're going to run out of money tomorrow. But other things are completely absolute nonsense. And if you just set yourself a budget of thinking, I'm only really going to give a damn about two or three things in a certain day, the rest of them can be dismissed offhand. The second point is think about things that might matter in a year's time. If you think about whether you've got gravy on your shoelaces, in 1 year's time, you're not really going to be too worried about it. So it's something you're not really going to give a second thought to in a year's time. You can probably dismiss it. The third point is to set a certain boundary up front. There's certain people that are toxic, certain situations you just don't want to get involved in. If you completely eliminate them from your thought pattern and anything that might arise that concerns these people or situations, just throw them in the bin and get rid of them. You don't need them, you don't want to get involved, and it gives you a little bit more clarity of mind. The next point is to accept the glorious acceptance of imperfection. There's too many times where people strive for perfection, worrying about whether they've put plaster on the wall with no marks or it's absolutely like glass. No one's really going to look at it, and you can always hide a picture over it. If you just strive for good enough and it gets you to the point you want to be, it's not that important, and you can move on without something being absolute perfection, like the roof of the Sistine Chapel. And the fifth and final point is to take a strategic tea break. It doesn't have to be tea, it could be coffee, it could be whiskey, it could be some sort of abstract drink like bubble tea. It doesn't matter. But if you think about a situation or person while you're having a drink or some other means of passing the time for an hour or so, you can come back to it and think whether it's actually worth your concern and whether you can dismiss that situation straight away. So, to go over those 5 points again about not giving a damn, be selective in your concern budget, don't overload yourself with thought and worry. Trying to think whether something's going to be important in a year's time. If you don't care about it, move straight on. Set rigid boundaries about the toxic influence in your life and just don't get involved. Accept that some things aren't going to be perfect and just move on with if it's good enough. And take a strategic tea break to ponder over something, give it some thought, and then dismiss it if you need to, or get involved. And then you do have to give a damn. But if you bear those points in mind, hopefully you can walk away from situations and hold your head up high.